All right, welcome to It Came From GenX. So, what we're doing here, guys, is we have some extended play, if you will. So, uh, like some of your favorite albums, the deluxe editions, special things, you have extended bonus tracks.
Hmm.
So,
Director's cut.
director's cut. We're going to call these Gen X
Urban version.
Plus. That's right. We're going to call these Gen X Plus. So if we have some extended stuff we want to cover that we can't fit into the 1 hour radio spot on WMVU.org, we're going to pilot these and see how these go and just kind of continue the conversation. We're going to put these out there in podcast as a separate bonus content, if you will. Uh, I don't know if many people consider listening to us more a bonus, maybe. But maybe somebody does. Maybe our three listeners in Germany might consider it a bonus. I'm not exactly sure, but anyway, so that's what we're doing here.
Or more torture. It depends how you look at it.
Exactly. So what we're talking about on the episode, the full episode, which kind of is carrying over to this here, we're talking about pop culture this week in pop culture history, and back in 1998 on March the 1st. So tomorrow, we're shooting this on February the 28th. Titanic became the first film to gross over 1 billion worldwide. It's not the top grossing film today, but at the time it was the first film to achieve that mark. Definitely an iconic movie. So again, in our lifetime, you probably took a date to it or you saw it probably in the theater. I know I did at the time. So an iconic movie. Effects were terrific, at least at the time. Not sure how they hold up today. I haven't watched the movie in many, many years, but I don't know. Keith, any thoughts on the movie Titanic? Did you see it in the theater? What'd you think? How did it rate as far as colossal films to that point for you? What do you think?
Well, you guys know I'm not what you would call a fad follower. I've always marched to my own drum, no pun
Hmm.
intended. I don't do things just because the masses are doing them. But I remember specifically where I was working at the time. I was working at a research company. And every day I got tired of hearing about Titanic. Everybody bragging about how many times they saw it. Made me hate the film even more before I ever saw it. Then I would go home on TV and see on the news all the young girls crying and they've seen it 10 times because Leo died or whatever. And
Yep.
I'm like, you know what? I'm so sick of hearing about this freaking movie. And I finally decided to go see the movie. I'll never forget coming back to work that Monday and looking everybody in the eye going, I get it.
Hmm.
It is one of my favorite movies of all time. I
Wow.
rank it up there with Casablanca. I thought it was done
Wow, really?
brilliantly. I love how you got a whole beautiful story, of this character, this love story that developed, the dichotomy of this poor nomad versus this rich, spoiled girl. I thought it was just brilliant. And then the second half was unbelievable action like you've never
Mm.
seen. The ship upright in the water and
Yes.
people hanging on the outside of the bow. I mean, that was
Yep.
powerful when you saw the bodies drop and hit the stacks and things like that. I just watched it the other day. It was on TV like 3 nights ago. I
Hmm.
watched it again. It is one of my favorite movies of all time. Still love it. Um, I love some of the jokes that have come out about it, especially why she didn't Rose didn't move her fat butt over and let him get up on the door. And of course, some of the jokes that Steve Harvey said. How the band played throughout
Yep.
the ship, which is a true story.
Yep.
They
That's right.
actually did, and he was like, that's a white thing. What black band go play when the ship going down? Cool in the game would have been. Let's get the so out of here. But it's one of my favorite movies, hands down.
Wow. Skinner, Titanic.
So it was a double date with Mr. and Mrs. Cooper.
Wow.
Oh,
What?
the
Yeah,
Notorious too.
the first wife, my first wife, Michael's mom.
Wow. We.
It was a night that we were able to get away from the kids. They
What
worked
year
there.
did you say this was?
98.
45.
Well,
He
it,
said
it
his
hit it
first
hit
wife, so they had to be like 1945.
it hit that
Yeah, no,
mark at 98, so it must have been out certainly prior.
Okay,
yeah,
go ahead,
probably
Skinner.
Yeah,
97, 98. So yeah, I was
yeah.
married to Tracy at the time, and parents took the kids. So yeah, we went on a double date with Mr. and Mrs. Cooper to see
Hmm.
that movie. And at the time, I'm like, oh man, I'm just not into this sappy love
Mm-hmm.
story crap. And that's what I looked at it. And at the time, Leo DiCaprio was not a very good actor. So in my mind, I latched onto that. There was a reason he was the only one that didn't get a Grammy or didn't get an Oscar award that year. Everybody else that was nominated for the Golden Globes and the Oscars, it it cleaned house except for Leo. He did not get it, and there's a
I
reason
thought he
behind
did a
it.
good
So
job.
yeah, but I've seen it since then, and it was a really good movie. 2.5 hours. You have no idea you're in a theater at the time for that long. Like you said, the first half leads up to the big ending, but half of the show leads up to the big ending, and it's just not something you had seen very much. But they did take a lot of there was a lot of facts and a lot of stuff that they took in the movie that was true to the story. So
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
very interesting how they did that. And I'm trying to remember the director's name that did it. It was his
Oh,
biggest project to date.
the Terminator guy.
Yeah, did Terminators. Gosh, why
Uh,
is his name eluding me? Anyway, it was incredible. I watched behind the scenes how they filmed all that, and it pretty amazing thing. And it's a movie that people will watch to the time end of time.
yeah, I want to add two things real quick. Um, Kate Winslet to me is one of the all-time beauties in that movie. I
What a
thought she was,
sweetheart.
oh my God, I thought she was so gorgeous. I still think she's utterly beautiful, and I really enjoyed her. And the other thing is too, guys, have you seen any of the news stories that have come out about the Titanic? That it really wasn't the Titanic that sank at all.
No.
You got to check this out. This is new information.
Huh.
The guy that owned that ship wanted to sink his other ship, and he switched the names on them. And there was a lot of his enemies on that ship that sank, like billionaire financial enemies. You got to read this stuff, man. It's totally fascinating.
Huh.
Yeah, just come
Mm.
out. Don't know how true it is, but it's amazing. But James Cameron was the director.
James
That's
Cameron.
right.
There you go.
Yeah, you think about this, guys. So in this area, if you're in the Akron area, I saw this movie at the Rolling Acres Cinema,
Wow.
which is now the raised, mall in our area here. That was a very popular mall. It was the biggest mall in Akron at the time for
Hmm.
many, many years. But that's where I saw it. Yeah, I'm kind of with you. My first impressions were I wasn't into the love story and all that at the time, but like I said, the effects were terrific. I need to go back and rewatch this movie because I'm sure I would have a different appreciation for it. I'm sure if I watched it again now. And James Cameron at that time, this movie here, I mean, he had some popular movies kind of leading up to this with, like you said, Terminator and a few things, but this movie here definitely was a
Hit the home
springboard
run.
for his career, and he went on to
Hmm.
direct. And certainly, think about his career. Titanic, and then he went on to do Avatar. So some
Hmm.
of the highest grossing films in cinema
Terminator. Yeah.
history was James Cameron here. So definitely, and they're making another. He's making another Avatar movie now and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So,
And don't
but
forget,
anyway,
was it The Abyss that he did? That was pretty big.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So back in '98. So switching back a little bit here to we didn't get a chance to talk about it last week. Some current stuff. So we are all comic book nerds. We like the three of us like comic book movies and a lot of different things that are, all the Marvel movies. A lot of us have seen these movies together over the years. Certainly, the series. There's not a whole lot of Marvel stuff.
Skinner can
I think it's
spot me
fair
in
to.
a black theater
That's right.
walking down the aisle. I don't know
That's right.
how.
Well,
Yeah, right.
it was the smell. In fairness, at the time, but
And I believe you. I believe you. Okay.
yeah,
That was
no,
Logan we
but
went and saw. That I
that's
spotted you in a black theater.
that's right. That's right. Highland Square. But yeah, so we grow up liking the comics. We've grown up super fans of this stuff here, and not just Marvel, just comics in general, and good storylines and all that. Peacemaker, I think we is just completed season one. Carried over from the movie Suicide Squad by James Gunn,
Hmm.
John Cena. Uh, so Skinner, have you got through the full season yet?
Yep, I did.
Okay. All right. So now we're all on the same page here. So, uh, season one just ended. It got picked up for another season. That's a big announcement here
Oh,
recently.
excellent. Okay.
Yep,
Looking
absolutely.
forward to it.
Yep. And I don't know, but we'll share our opinions here. I thought this was terrific. I love this stuff. James Gunn. I like his sense of he seems to understand the fact of this from the Suicide Squad movie to this series. This is a darker series. It's a darker take on superheroes a little bit. Funny,
It's still funny.
dark.
Yeah.
He gets it. It's a
He gets it.
whole James Gunn vibe, and certainly with the Guardians of the Galaxy, he was definitely he did a terrific job of blending in a terrific soundtrack that got you into the storyline and made you enjoy it that much more, in my opinion. Definitely has carried that over into this series with tons and tons of just terrific 80s metal and other stuff. So it just kind of fits into this whole series terrifically. So I thought some of the stuff that John Cena was doing in the comedy up to this point was like, eh,
Hmm.
he's trying. I get it, but I don't know. This character of Peacemaker for me, John Cena, I don't know, at least at the moment to me, seems like this is going to take his career into another level and make him more mainstream in this superhero world. I don't know. So I just thought it was terrific. So the great blend of characters, the ragtag group of folks, all the
Oh,
actors. I thought every
talk
single
about a
one of them,
motley crew, right?
absolutely. I think every
Right.
single one of them does a terrific job. They and this to see the evolution of these characters throughout the series kind of come together as a real team to fight these alien race, which I thought that was a whole other terrific thing about it with the butterfly aliens and stuff like that. So I don't know, a lot of fun. So if you like a good fun comic book storyline, forget if it's Marvel or DC or whatever it is, you will, in my opinion, enjoy this series. And in our generation, certainly, you're going to hear a lot of songs that you grew up with that fit very
Mhm.
nicely into the storyline. So I just love it. It's a lot of fun. So Keith, what do you? I know you have a lot of thoughts, a lot of notes on
I
Peacemaker. So what do you think, sir?
Fish, I could do a whole show on this. There's so many things to talk about.
Yeah.
As you may recall, I watched the first episode and I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. By the second episode, I was like, this is really, yeah. And I didn't watch it and I mentioned something to you and you were like, no, man, you got to keep going.
Yeah.
So glad I listened to you. First of all, I want to talk about James Gunn. You hit it on the head when you said he gets it. In the comic book has no limitations on the gore and the whatever, but it's still camp. It's comic. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He translates that to film perfectly. It was dark in so many ways, but it was hysterical. And it was comical. It was great. Just some of the things, his eagle hugs him and silly stuff like that. But yeah, I thought some of the stuff was a little over the top, but it was still hilarious. You mentioned John Cena. I think this is definitely going to take his career in another direction. Here's a guy who spent 20 years building a career towards children. He was the
Yes,
modern day Hulk Hogan,
that's
in the
right.
WWE, all the positive
Hmm.
messages and whatnot. And he totally sheds that with some of the most earth shattering foul language you ever want.
Oh yeah. Well,
My
what?
gosh. Another great point you mentioned was the ragtag crew. I love that. It wasn't all your great, bulky, cool superheroes. You had this
Great.
gorgeous blonde. You had a black guy who was actually one of the so-called bad guys. You had idiot IT guy. He was
Yeah.
smart and stupid at the same time. And then,
Yeah.
of course, you had Peacemaker, who had so many personal problems with his dad, bona fide racist, which is our man from James Cameron thing. He was the Terminator in Terminator 2. And
Yeah.
Yep.
yeah,
The robot that the
well,
whole
he's AIDS,
liquid.
huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was great. And then of course you had the lesbian, and I mean just crazy crew, man. But and then of course the other guy who was just as stupid as all get out, but he could fight, man. I tell you. I love the
Vigilante?
show.
The Vigilante.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to
Yeah.
steal Skinner's thunder, but I know he's going to bring this up. Probably the worst opening dance number I've ever seen in my
Oh my gosh.
But
yes,
I can't
go
stop.
ahead.
I can't stop watching it though. It's so bad.
I don't skip it. I never skip it.
I never skip it. I can't stop watching it. Just to have the guts to do it. I'm like, I gotta watch this. It's so great. But I tell you what, I never had a show where I had to keep stopping it and pulling up music. Who is that?
Yeah.
Who is man?
Yeah.
Some of the
Yeah.
greatest songs I never heard. Then there were
Yeah.
songs that I love and that I haven't heard, like Vain. Nobody knows about Vain. I love Vain, and they were playing a song by Johnny Vain the other night. Just some great stuff. I really love the show.
Yeah. Skinner, what'd you think? You just saw it.
Yeah, he did steal my thunder about that damn opening
I knew
dance
you were going to mention
routine.
that.
Because I texted you guys. I'm like, what in the God earth is this? Can he be any more awkward trying to dance
know,
like a
right?
white boy? But no, I think that one of the first things that I mention is the absolutely incredible music that is in that show. I think that's what makes the show so special is the music that James Gunn. You had us look up a playlist on Spotify, I think it was.
Yes, that's right. Spotify.
Yeah, and then I listened to that, and then I listened to the music that's in the show, and it's just incredible. You're talking about the black girl lesbian. She played a lesbian in character in Orange is the New Black.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought she looked familiar.
She's
Okay.
When I saw her and I saw it, I'm like,
I don't think
and she
she's
played-
playing a character.
yeah, I don't
Danielle
know if it
Brooks.
is.
Danielle Brooks.
Okay.
Danielle
Yeah.
Brooks. She played a really good part in Peacemaker. I loved her character. You know, the reserved kind of girl trying to stay in the closet, doesn't want everybody to know her story, never shot anybody or killed anybody. And
All these people have problems. They all have
Yeah.
personal stuff going on. Yeah.
That's right.
Exactly right. And the favorite thing I think out of the entire show for me is all the one-liners or all the statements, especially the ones that John Cena, the Peacemaker, made, statements about everyday life. It's just, and they hit you in the forehead, and then they move on. And you have to sit back and go, oh, wow, did he really just say that? I think that's probably one of my favorite parts of the whole show.
Well, you think about it, John Cena in this show, John Cena is us. John Cena is a Gen X dude
Yeah.
out there. It grew
point.
up as a kid listening to Motley Crue and all these records. He's us. And he, like you say, I like the backstory. I'd like to see him evolve as the character. I'd like to see how he became what he is and how he evolved throughout the show.
They dabbled.
I hated him
dabbled
on
that?
Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
What's
I
that?
didn't like him either. They did dabble a little bit why he's considered the Peacemaker, but
Mhm.
they really didn't go into detail. I agree with you. I think I would love to see that happen.
Yeah. In the show, you make a good point. In the movie, I didn't care for much for his character in the movie, but we
Right.
didn't get the backstory and all the things we got now.
It certainly didn't get the comedy.
It's some of the foul language, the names they called each other. They were just piling obscenities on top of each other.
Yeah.
I was like,
What really shocked me as
It was
being
hilarious.
a comic book movie was the scene that he did with the girl that the butterfly at the very beginning,
yeah,
the first
yeah,
butterfly.
yeah.
I was
Right.
shocked at that scene, to be truthful, because
Yeah,
of all
me
the movies
too.
we've seen,
I was like,
other
John
than
Cena?
Deadpool, not with John Cena, but being a comic book person, other than Deadpool, you never really see that in any of the movies.
Yeah. I don't know. So that definitely has something here. I like the fact that they're just like this is what this is. We're not trying to do something. I like it's this type of stuff for DC. I know we talked about this at Barbara said. Just keep doing this. Let James Gunn come in,
Mhm.
do whatever the hell he wants to, and that's what's smart here too. As the executive said, this guy knows what he's doing. Stay out of his way. Let him do his thing. Let him bring his personality into these characters. This is not Superman. This
Yeah.
is not Batman.
Fish.
They're not screwing around with
You're
that.
nailing it on the half. Home run for DC, who's been taking it on the chin from Marvel
Yes.
for
yes.
the longest. Home run for them. And how brilliant was it to end the series with the Justice League showing up? And
Oh
him
my
saying,
God.
you late, you
Absolutely.
so and so's, and to see the mighty Justice League standing there looking stupid. I thought that
Yeah.
was freaking brilliant, man.
It was
Brilliant.
I
absolutely
love that.
brilliant.
And to have Jason Momoa there as Aquaman, and then Ezrin, the Flash, the
The
original,
Flash, yes.
it was there, and then to make fun of him having sex with fish,
Well,
that
yes,
he
that was
joked
awesome.
about.
Yes.
Yes, so
Yeah, just
keep
leave
it
James Gunn alone. Just leave him alone. Let him do what he wants.
exactly. I don't know. I just thought it was fun. And we were talking about this on the other podcast, Convincing Idiots. Is like we're kind of comparing this to Deadpool and stuff like that. This to me was a lot more fun than even Deadpool
Total
because
agree.
a
Totally
whole
agree.
different
I didn't
vibe.
enjoy Deadpool.
It was not. I mean, I like Ryan Reynolds in that role. He's terrific in that role. It's perfect, but it's like some of that stuff just gets a little bit way over the top at
Too over the
times.
top, right?
Mhm.
This was
Like
this to me.
Jim Carrey was playing Deadpool. Like, come on, bring it back a little bit.
Right. This is I don't know. This is great. And the
So
vigilante, just the fact I love the fact that here's a guy like you said, he's a busboy for whatever
Yeah.
reason. We don't know why. We don't care why. He's a killing machine. Where did he learn it? How did he learn it? You know what? I don't care.
Doesn't
He's
care.
doing it. It's fun. I'm going to roll with it. He learned it somewhere, and he enjoys killing. That's terrific. If you want to have an offshoot sometime of a vigilante backstory, maybe
Yeah.
not necessary. Don't need to do it.
The only
So
thing that sucked about the
yeah,
end of Peacemaker was
go ahead.
it was the last great streaming thing going right now. We're waiting for so many great things to start right now. Of
Yep.
course, the book of Boba Fett ended a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
So that was the only thing sad about it. But next week, Picard season 2 returns. If you're a Star Trek fan, I cannot wait for that. March 3rd, going to be great. And of course, March 3rd, the Batman comes out too as well.
I'm very
I
anxious
was
for
gonna
that.
wear my Joker shirt tonight till we decided to wear our show shirts. I was gonna, in celebration of Batman coming out, I was gonna wear my Joker t-shirt tonight.
Can't wait.
I'm looking forward to. You got me hooked on that. Wanting to see that.
Well, maybe we can see it together. You guys want to?
So
Yeah, next weekend, man. Well, this weekend. Excuse me. This coming weekend it comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keith can't hear you right now, brother.
I'm sorry. Yeah, this is the last
There
day
you
of
go.
the month.
it
Yeah,
is.
it sure is.
Wow.
Tomorrow's
Sure is.
March. Tomorrow's March
Yep.
1st.
Yep. All right, brothers. Well, we could talk about a lot more stuff here, but we at least wanted to talk about the Peacemaker, which we haven't gotten to, and finish up our thoughts on Titanic. So, we're going to wrap up this extra Gen X Plus portion
It's
of the
our
show.
1 year anniversary, so we did a little extra for you. Hope
Absolutely.
you guys enjoy it.
Right, for you specifically in Germany. That's
Yes.
it. It's like our American fans said, we've listened to you enough tonight.
Yes. That's
Our
what
next,
they
But
said.
just
My
our
mom
next
said
plus,
that.
Our next plus show, we'll talk about David Hasselhoff or something
that's right.
for our German
That's-
folks.
That's right. Right. So on that note,
Hold on. I gotta say
go ahead,
this.
please.
Have
Go
you
ahead.
guys ever seen the movie Peacemaker with George Clooney?
No.
Great movie. Watch that movie, kind of James Bond action stuff. He goes into this trucking guy to get information from him, ties him up by gunpoint, and breaks into his computer. And he asks him, "What's the password?" The password is Hasselhoff.
Oh wow.
And the
There
name
you
of
go.
the movie is Peacemaker.
All right.
You know what?
Just
We
saying.
cannot-
Woo.
We cannot end it on a better topic than that. We probably could, but we're
I'm
not
sure we
going to.
could.
We're not going to. So Skinner, do you mind taking us out, please, on this first Gen X Plus?
You've had a
edition, please?
year to practice.
Yeah,
That's right.
right.
Here we go. It's right. We have 1 year in. Skinner has been sharpening his skills
1 year in, yep.
for 1 year in, and we are about to. So sit back and enjoy, please.
Enjoy.
No
Settle in.
pressure.
No, I
Settle
do
in.
want to say I enjoyed
Yeah.
this segment, and I hope that we continue this, and we will continue this. Some good topics that we just didn't have time to do on the hour show. So hopefully the fans will enjoy it. So for Brian Fisher and Keith Porter, I'm Michael Skinner. This has been Gen X Plus. We appreciate you all, and until next time, we bid you farewell.
Wow, look at that, will you?
Wow.
Nice
Hey, now.
job. We fit
And-
you very well, everybody.
Yes.
Cut.
Yeah, stuttering. No, it's-